I'm on holiday in Bali at the moment. I'm staying in a wonderful 5-star resort called Padma in Legian. It's been wonderful and I highly recommend it. I'm something of a workaholic and it's hard for me to turn off, but after the violent death of my second daughter and the bit of disappointment that has been 2016 thus far, I can say that perhaps I might need to do something a little bit different for a bit. These are stories I may tell another time, or I may not, because, well, they're kind of personal. Living for a week in the lap of luxury makes me acutely aware of the inequality and the lack of sustainability of it all. I mean, the whole point of a holiday is, after all, excessive consumption. Bali's wonderful. It's fun, it's beautiful, it's warm, which is lovely after the freezing cold weather in Melbourne, but most of all, it's humid. And this makes it so lovely to come inside to lovely air-conditioned rooms. But it's the lobby which strikes me the most. This wonderful open-air pavilion without walls, and I notice it's a degree or two cooler inside the lobby than outside. To do this, they have these vents that stream out constantly, but it quickly dissipates into the open air. It's not the most powerful system I've ever seen, but it's incredibly wasteful and achieves a barely noticeable difference in air temperature. Air conditioning is expensive, it's fleeting, and it's purely indulgent. We don't need it, but gosh darn, it feels so good. We can justify it to ourselves too. In our offices, we claim it makes us more productive. In retail, it's good for business, and people are invited to linger a little while longer. And worst of all, when business owners intentionally leave their doors open so that you feel that inviting cool air as you walk by. Maybe I'm just a bit negative, but I can see all this fabulous wealth of humankind, and this got me thinking, is wealth and inequality so different to weather and air conditioning? I mean, when the weather is lovely and clement, we don't even think about it very much. It's just there. Everybody just gets to enjoy it. But of course, the greater the gradient temperature between inside and outside, the more grateful you are to have air conditioning. Perhaps there's a wealth gradient effect similar to the sweet relief that you feel when you step inside an air-conditioned room. We have a word for this. It's called inequality. And I feel slightly guilty that I might be enjoying it just a little bit. For a week on holiday in Bali, I get to feel incredibly rich because there are people just over there who will bring me whatever I want. The more there are people suffering around you, the luckier your lot seems to be. And we're thankful more to be not that guy. It's not that I'm anti-air conditioning. Indeed, I love my AC just as much as everyone else. But the waste of it all is very upsetting. I'm a capitalist because I think it consistently improves the lot of the average human. But I'm also aware that the wealth that capitalism brings comes with inequality and some fabulous wealth that is, for me, symbolised by air conditioning. It's the same uneasy feeling I get when I see entitled guests who are rude to locals. Or you walk down the street and you see bumper stickers that are for sale that says, "Fuck off, we're full." Unfortunately, Australia's finest are not always exported as tourists. The resort staff get slightly better paid than the guys who are working on the street, but not a lot more. From talking to the Balinese, the average wage here seems to be about $100 to $200 a month. And that seems pretty crummy when you realise that even on minimum wages in Australia, you can earn that in a single day. But the truth is that there are many people here from Sumatra and Java that come to Bali to work precisely because the wages are so much better. Yes, prices are amazingly cheap by Australian standards, but they are maddeningly expensive for locals and even worse for the migrant labour. And yet, it's all still worth it. The lot of the average Balinese is better than those of the Indonesian working in Java, who fares better than those who are in Sumatra. When I compare the Balinese life here to the Vietnamese standard of living, Vietnam has a long way to catch up to this. As I write and record this in my air-conditioned room, I'm aware of this one fact. For all of the idiocy, for all of the waste, tourism brings money. Things get better. Air conditioning and economic development are indeed wonderful things. They're even more wonderful when we don't take them for granted. Thanks for watching. Happy studies, guys.